It's August 9th, 1945. Just 3 days after the bombing of Hiroshima, another city faces an unimaginable fate. The target is Nagasaki, Japan. At 11:02 a.m., a single bomb, codenamed Fat Man, detonates over the city. The explosion unleashes a power equivalent to 21,000 tons of TNT. In an instant, a bustling industrial city is reduced to rubble and ash. The blast wave, intense heat, and subsequent fires obliterate everything within a 1-mile radius. Tens of thousands of lives are lost in a flash, with many more succumbing in the following days and weeks. On August 6, 1945, that's exactly what happened over Hiroshima, Japan. The first atomic bomb, nicknamed Little Boy, was dropped, unleashing a power never before seen. In a matter of seconds, an entire city was flattened. The blast, the heat, and the radiation created a catastrophic scene, wiping out buildings and lives in an instant. The immediate impact was devastating, but the effects lingered for years. By the end of 1945, it's estimated that over 140,000 people had lost their lives due to the bombing. Life was bustling, streets were filled with people, and everything seemed normal. But towering over them was Mount Vesuvius, a volcano they didn't even know was dangerous. Then, the unthinkable happened. Vesuvius erupted with unimaginable force, burying Pompeii under a thick blanket of volcanic ash and pumice. In just a matter of hours, an entire civilization vanished. It wasn't until centuries later that archaeologists began to uncover this lost city. The ash created molds of people, capturing their final moments forever. Imagine a city that has witnessed the rise and fall of empires, a crossroads of civilizations for thousands of years. This is Aleppo, one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities on Earth. The Great Mosque, the historic citadel, and the labyrinthine alleyways of the souk were testaments to a rich and vibrant past. What was once a thriving center of commerce and culture has been tragically transformed into ruins. Its people are resilient, and efforts are underway to rebuild and restore what has been lost, a slow but hopeful journey to reclaim their heritage. Imagine a city known as the Florence, on the Elbe, a jewel box of Baroque art and architecture. That was Dresden, Germany. But in February 1945, over just 3 days, everything changed forever. Allied forces unleashed a massive firebombing campaign, creating a firestorm that engulfed the city center. Temperatures soared, winds reached hurricane force, and the historic heart of Dresden was turned into a sea of flames. When the smoke cleared, the devastation was almost total. An estimated 90% of the city was destroyed. Priceless landmarks like the Frauenkirche, the Tesfinger Palace, and the Semperoper were left as hollowed-out ruins. It was one of the most controversial and destructive air raids of World War II. This was Pripyat, Ukraine, in the spring of 1986. But in the early hours of April 26th, everything changed forever. A catastrophic explosion at the nearby Chernobyl nuclear power plant unleashed an invisible enemy, a haunting reminder of a world that vanished overnight, where nature is slowly reclaiming what was once a bustling, modern city. It's a story that's hard to comprehend. After the heroic but tragic Warsaw Uprising, the city faced a terrifying, calculated campaign of destruction. This wasn't just the collateral damage of war. It was a deliberate plan to erase a capital city from the map, to wipe out its culture and its spirit. Over 85% of Warsaw was systematically demolished, building by building, street by street. Now, we see scenes of utter devastation. Entire neighborhoods, places where families lived, where children played, have been reduced to rubble and dust. The scale of the destruction is immense, a stark and heartbreaking reminder of the human cost of conflict. These images are more than just destroyed buildings. They represent shattered lives, lost memories, and a future stolen from so many. This isn't just a distant news story. It's a profound human tragedy that deserves our attention and compassion. 1906. At 5:12 in the morning, a massive earthquake, estimated to be a magnitude 7.9, ripped through the city for nearly a minute. But the shaking was just the beginning. The real devastation came from the fires that followed. Gas lines ruptured, and water mains broke, leaving firefighters helpless. For 3 long days, fires raged across San Francisco, turning the vibrant city into a sea of flames. When the smoke finally cleared, an unbelievable 80% of the city was gone, reduced to rubble and ash. It was one of the worst natural disasters in U.S. history, but from those ashes, San Francisco would rise again. August 4, 2020, Beirut, Lebanon. A day that started like any other, ended in a catastrophe that shook the world. At the city's port, a massive fire was raging. Then, without warning, a colossal explosion ripped through the heart of Beirut. It was one of the largest non-nuclear blasts in history, caused by nearly 3,000 tons of improperly stored ammonium nitrate. The shockwave was devastating. It flattened buildings, shattered windows miles away, and sent a mushroom cloud towering over the city. The numbers were heartbreaking. Over 200 people lost their lives, thousands were injured, and hundreds of thousands were left homeless in an instant. Half of Beirut was destroyed or damaged.